Good morning. All right, we're here today to talk about resilience in your organization and a brief introduction to business continuity planning. So I'm Isabelle Schmidt. I serve in the role of fractional CIO and AVP Projects here at Improving IT. So I work with our clients to create a vision for information technology that meets the organization's objectives, and then I work with our project team to implement that vision. So what is business continuity planning? Let's start by talking about that. So a business continuity plan is a proactive strategy that helps your organization stay operational during unexpected disruptions. This could be a cyber attack, natural disaster, supply chain failure, etc. BCP's primary goal is to keep things running even when something goes wrong. A well-thought-out BCP helps organizations lessen the effects of disruptions, reduce downtime, and make sure that workers and stakeholders stay safe. So we could define business continuity planning as the development of systems and plans focused on the prevention of and recovery from issues. It's a proactive approach organizations must take to safeguard their ability to deliver services and operate normally, despite potential threats. It's about preparing for unforeseen challenges, bringing them into the light, uncovering areas an organization may be vulnerable. It's critical for protecting an organization's assets and ensuring operations continue during those crises. Identifying these challenges and planning for them in advance, you can minimize the disruption and accelerate recovery, helping organizations maintain stability and confidence. This proactive approach enables resilience and continuity even in the face of the unexpected. This creates strategic value. And it creates strategic value because a business continuity plan is crucial for organizations to protect their assets and ensure that they can continue during and even after a crisis. A well-designed BCP minimizes disruptions during that crisis. It ensures that the critical functions remain operational. An effective plan allows an organization to adapt and recover swiftly during a crisis, maintaining their competitive position and enhancing trust. A strong BCP is essential for safeguarding an organization's financial health during emergencies. It helps by protecting revenue streams and avoiding costly downtime. Investing in BCP helps customer confidence by protecting their interests and ensuring operational stability. This fosters loyalty and encourages repeat business. It supports sustained growth with strong customer relations. Organizations that quickly respond to disruptions build trust and credibility with their stakeholders, enhancing the reputation of your organization. This all creates the business case for continuity planning. Risk mitigation is the core aspect of business continuity planning. Identifying potential risks and vulnerabilities allows your team to proactively manage threats, minimizing disruptions and ensuring swift and coordinated responses. We're protecting the financial stability of an organization by safeguarding revenue streams and avoiding those downtimes. Maintaining operations during crisis ensures organizations remain financially viable and can continue to deliver the value that customers and stakeholders require. This supports your reputation by ensuring operational reliability during disruptions. Organizations that respond quickly and transparently build trust and credibility with their stakeholders, reinforcing their commitment to long-term success for you and your clients. It can be a market differentiation. Organizations prioritize planning for the future are distinguishing themselves by demonstrating preparedness and resilience. This reliability attracts clients who value stability, fostering stronger partnerships and enhanced market differentiations. By putting this investment into your organization, you build customer confidence by protecting their interests and their own stability. This fosters loyalty and encourages repeat business. This supports, sustains growth through strong customer relationships. And regulatory compliance is a critical benefit of BCP. Adhering to policies that protect customers and client interests, you can avoid penalties, maintain certifications, all of which contribute to maintaining trust with industry and government bodies. So what are some key components of business continuity plan? Well, it's going to be your emergency preparedness team. It's going to be identifying your essential services. It's going to be identifying the gaps that you have in skills and staffing. It's going to be creating action plans for those essential services, writing policies and procedures, and communication strategies, getting your word out. Forming a dedicated emergency preparedness team is a requirement. This team is going to be composed of key personnel from various departments, and they must have clearly defined roles and responsibilities to coordinate an effective response during emergencies and crises. Identifying essential services is critical. It's critical to prioritizing resources and work during an event. By determining which functions are vital for an organization, your team can focus on maintaining those services to minimize disruptions and potential impacts during an outage. Assessing required skill sets allows for strategic staff relocation during emergencies, and it ensures that personnel are trained and assigned to roles that maintain essential operations. Ongoing training prepares staff to handle their responsibilities effectively in a crisis situation. Developing detailed action plans for those essential services provides clear guidance during the crisis. These plans outline specific steps to maintain operations and should be regularly reviewed and updated to maintain effectiveness with the evolving risks. By establishing clear policies, perhaps for compensation, and clear procedures such as remote work or safety, ensures that employees understand the expectations and protocols during a crisis, supporting a safe and organized response to the disaster. Effective communication strategies are vital during a crisis. Maintaining consistent and clear communication with internal teams and external partners through multiple channels ensures that everyone stays informed and coordinated, which supports a unified response. So what could this all look like in its final form? Well, that's really up to you and your organization, primarily your leadership. And also keep in mind that this is an iterative process, something you're going to go through to kick off the process, but you're going to review it quarterly, annually, on an ongoing basis. How much you maybe get started? Well, here's some examples of some templates that we use. We're identifying the essential services, we're creating that action plan. So we're going to start with just some quick brainstorming where we're going to go over what could go wrong with an essential service. Maybe this is your ERP system or your cash register POS system if you're like a retail shop. We're going to do a rapid risk analysis where we're going to quickly identify all of the things that could go wrong with that and what the likelihood of them are. Is this a high risk of happening and a high impact if it does happen? That's the kind of thing that you want to make sure you've got as part of your business continuity plan. If something has a low probability of happening and also a low risk or a low impact if it does happen, that might be something you shelf for another version of your BCP, maybe next quarter or next year. And then we're going to go through, make some decisions around the key processes that we have to maintain. We're going to come up with our communication strategy, and we're going to do a really quick on-the-spot test and review. If this scenario happened that we identified in steps 1 or 2, would the things that we decide in step 3 alleviate the concerns that we had in steps 1 and 2? And then we go over this process again and again for each step of an essential service and for the essential services themselves. And we wind up creating additional action plans for all of the different components that an essential service is made up of. So if this was, for example, an ERP system, maybe you need to plan for an outage of the ERP system by the vendor, Or you need to plan for a cyber attack against the server that the ERP system is hosted on. Or perhaps it's just a hardware failure of your servers or something like that. So for each one of those kinds of scenarios, we run through this process over and over again. And that winds up bringing us into these kinds of templates. So this is an example of a policy or a procedure template. We use the same template for all of them. And we're just going to quickly go through and we're going to define the purpose of the policy and the procedure. We're going to define its scope. We're going to have our team that we talked about with roles and responsibilities on who's doing what and when. The activation and notification that this policy is now in play needs to go out to the community, to the teams, to your people, to your customers. We need to go through the planning and coordination of how those people are going to work together, what's required there. Then we get into actual procedural steps. If this is a procedure that we're doing, an SOP, standard operating procedure for how to respond to this crisis. Contingency measures are an important part of BCP. Well, you might have an outage of your ERP system due to a hardware failure, and your IT team is working on restoring service with new hardware and restoring from backup. You need to have contingency plans in place. Maybe your finance teams or your operation teams are able to work on other things that you've developed, perhaps tracking in Excel or in a SharePoint list, while you're waiting for the ERP system to come back online. Contingency measures can be a big part of the BCP process. It's about continuing operations and restoring to previous states. All throughout this crisis, you're going to need a communication strategy. If it's a public-facing crisis, you're going to need to talk with customers, perhaps an announcement on your website. How often are you going to update it? Twice a day? Well, you communicate internally to your internal teams every few hours. All of these plans and policies, they all need a way to be tested and reviewed. And so we're going to describe how we're going to test them. And then we get into some other kind of operational HR things. Are there health and safety considerations to this policy? Is there documentation that we have outside of this policy that needs to be maintained? Health and safety records, for example. And then we also include any appendices. Do we have technical drawings? Do we have external SOPs? Do we have vendor documentation? Those kinds of things all come into play. So these are just two examples of some of the templates for creating an action plan and brainstorming meeting to something which is a lot more kind of technical and detailed in how it all works. This is a very, very high level overview just to kind of get you guys thinking about what continuity planning is all about. It's not just about can you restore from backup. It's how are you going to restore from backup? And while you're restoring from backup, what is the rest of your organization doing? It's not just an IT thing. It's not just a technical conversation. It's really about your business process and developing those and creating maturity around them. Do we have any questions at this time? You see one thing in a note? Oh, there we go. All right. So if we don't have any questions, we can move on to the next steps. So this presentation is a very, very high level overview just to introduce that topic and get you thinking about what BCP, business continuity planning, means for your organization. So for next steps, you can reach out and book an initial consultation if you would like to talk in more depth about looking at BCP specifically for your team in your organization. Why work with Improving IT? Well, our customers love us. Here's a great quote from the IT manager, Mark, at KMS Tools, who we've worked with on a lot of high-level projects and really helped them out with their IT team. Our next webinar for next month is going to be about AI. It's going to be about Microsoft Copilot and how Copilot can empower every role in every organization. It's not just for techies, it's not just for CEOs or content developers. Every role in an organization can develop processes and empowerment through the use of AI and technologies, and we're going to talk a little bit about that next month. In the meantime, if you've got any questions about business continuity planning or anything else we've talked about, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us an email, hello@improvingit.ca. You can visit our website, improvingit.ca. You can give us a call on the phone. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We post newsletters, we post announcements, things like that for like this webinar. And at any given time, hey, reach out. I'm a people person. I like connecting. Drop me a message, say hi on LinkedIn, and give a follow-up. Aside from that, thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you have expanded your knowledge a little bit about what business continuity planning is, and that you take away this is preparing for the future. Every organization needs it, and we wish you the success. Have a good afternoon.